All right, we're live. Sorry, one sec. Just want to get these headphones on. And I think we're good to go. All right. We are using the. All right, let's see. Mic check. Okay, we're going to use a regular mic here. Welcome everybody to our normal Thursday live stream here. And yesterday we did a little something different than usual. Sorry, I'm going to see if I can get this mic working. There we go. Okay. Should be good to go. Anyway, yeah, yesterday we did a little bit of a different live stream format with the reality TV show. We did a watch party, but the Thursday and Sunday sessions will go back to our normal topics of So, as usual, let me know where everybody is from. We got a few topics that I want to get into, Jamaica related, of course, this time. Of course, we want to start off with London. Let's see what countries. We can always get into different topics that you all may be interested in. Some exciting things. Well, there's always exciting things happening in Jamaica, and want to talk about a few of them. These are mostly to do with and in line with economics and finance. And so we'll go over those and then talk about ThropX as well. Got a few exciting updates that we want to talk about. They're literally coming in as speaking. Candice is updating me. But it's coming down to the wire. Sorry, just reading it. Coming down to the wire here. And like literally a few more weeks. Today is October 20th. We got 1, 2, 3, call it 3.5 weeks till ThropX. Finally, looking forward to kicking this thing off. I'm getting really excited. Things are really starting to come together, and we're getting there. We're getting there. Slowly but surely, like every day, taking step by step. So we'll give updates on that. But we can hop right into the agenda. We don't even have to wait, and people can come in and then they can catch up. Hello, Donna. Good to see you. Chiming in from overcast Ottawa. Very nice. Always nice to see you in here. Jason, hello. Coming in from ATL. Stanley Franklin, hello. Saying hello to the Throppers. New York in the house. I'm in New York too. I'm going to be here for a few days. So happy to be here. Happy to have you on board for the Thursday live stream here. All right, so let's hop right into it. I want to get into a few articles here. The first one is talking about Jamaica's growth. Let's throw that in the comments here so you all can read along. I'll throw it up here as well. We can pop it up on your screens. Let's see if I can share this. All right, there it is. Okay, here's the article. And it states Jamaica records second quarter growth of 4.8%. This was in the Jamaica Gleaner and came out on Tuesday of this week, October 18th. Let's see how long it is. Okay, it's a short article. Can go through it real quickly. And it reads, the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Staten, is reporting that the economy grew by 4.8% over the April to June 2022 quarter compared to the corresponding period in 2021. This was attributed to a 7.2% increase in the services industry, despite a 2% decline in the goods producing industries. The details were provided by Staten's Director General, Carol Coy, during the Institute's virtual quarterly media briefing on Tuesday. Coy said the second quarter outturn for 2022 was influenced by the revocation of the disaster risk management order, the expiration of the COVID-19 pre-test requirement for travel to Jamaica, and the entertainment sector reopening. When compared to the first quarter of 2021, that is January to March, total value added increased by 1.3%, a continuation of the trend observed since the third quarter of 2020, she said. The growth in the services industry was spurred by improvements in all 8 subsectors, led by hotels and restaurants, up 56%. Coy said growth in the subsector was driven by a 79.2% increase in foreign national arrivals during the review period. The wholesale and retail trade, repairs, and installation of machinery and equipment subsector grew by 7.6%, while transportation, storage, and communication rose by 5.7%. The other services subsector, which includes entertainment and tourism related activities, grew by 9.8%. Finance and insurance services climbed by 1.1%. Real estate, renting, and business activities increased by 2.1%. Producers of government services was up 0.4%, with electricity and water supply going up by 2%. Coy said the decline in goods producing industries was largely due to low outputs in mining and quarrying, which contracted by 62.5%. Oh, wow. And construction is down 5.2%. Interesting. The continued closure of Jamaica Aluminum Company plant adversely affected the performance of the mining and quarry industry, she stated. Coy pointed out, however, that there were increases in agriculture, forestry, and fishing, and manufacturing, which grew by 6.3% and 5.6% respectively. Okay. I think overall that's good news with all these subsectors and sub-industries reporting upticks. That's, I would say, like the big one was a 62.5% contraction in the goods producing industries, in the mining and quarry. But they had brought up the Jamaican Aluminum Company, Jamaica being closed down. I wasn't aware of that. Was anybody else aware of that being closed? I don't even know, and I haven't heard that. I don't know why that is. So that's interesting. We'll have to look into that at some point. But yeah, this is good news, especially. And then we talked to like a couple weeks ago about the Minister of Tourism. He gave a speech talking about the bounce back of the tourism industry. And of course, I'm gonna always talk about tourism industry, as this is what I know most, and this is my wheelhouse. And he said that the tourism industry brought in like $5 billion US up until, I think he was talking up until the third quarter of this year, if I'm not mistaken. And 1 billion of that 5 billion was produced by Negril, which is amazing. But I also think it's important. It's great to see like this overall 4.8% growth, but I think context is important as well. 2021 obviously was a bad year, 2020 bad year sort of thing. So these, what would I consider fairly large in certain sectors, fairly large growth, is because we were coming out of the pandemic, so to speak. And the article speaks to the relaxation of the COVID requirements coming to Jamaica. that was humongous. It's just one less thing that people have to worry about when they are booking their tickets, hotels, etc. So the ease of coming to Jamaica really it's very obvious, helps people or helps the tourism industry. Yeah, it's, showing that I'm just reading it now again, it's up by 56%. And then that's kind of like good to see the the recent history, especially comparing 2022 to 2021, and you're seeing this growth trajectory. And then when you on the outlook of what tourism in Jamaica looks like for at least the immediate future. So I can tell you from on a girl perspective and even a personal hotel perspective, like the winter looks very good coming up. Obviously, or maybe not so obvious, but September, October are normally horrific months for the tourism industry. But September was fairly decent, I would say, for us as a hotel. And then even Negril, like when I was speaking to a lot of hoteliers, they were very happy with September. And so much so, many of them said they had the best Septembers on record. I also spoke to Martin of Austrojam, who's a farmer, not in the hotel industry. He said he had the best September that he ever had on record. And that's amazing. And like a lot of people are saying the same thing outside of tourism. Like it was a really good September, which is normally just slow in general for Jamaica. And I think globally that is a thing, because you have, at least maybe in here, like because we start school in September, and I think people are just focused on that. Obviously, we have a big portion of population are children, and then the parents of those children are preparing for school, and that's what the focus is. So to have a very strong September is very telling and also gives a lot of confidence. For us as a hotel, October's still down a little bit, but in the grill overall, like people are still coming just from a visual standpoint, and me kind of just seeing what's going on the beach when I'm running, that sort of thing. It's kind of good to see a lot of visitors, foreigners coming in, despite this normally being a slow month for us. What this means for the future, like, is this the new normal, so to speak? Is September of 2023 going to be like that? I'm not sure. I don't know also like what kind of indicators to look for in respect to the telling signs of that, like what's going to let us know that this is the new normal. But the off season and season, I can tell you right now, it's just like all mixed up. Though the winter season still remains strong, like that has always been that's been consistent. Now the off season aspect of it, it's hard to say, because the summer was also very good as well. Like, just when I say very good, I would say consistent, and that's what I mean by very good. Whereas normally in the summer you'll have, you'll do okay. You'll do okay as a hotel. You do okay as a tourism industry, but you definitely have like huge dips, and then you have huge mountains as well in terms of peaks, like Dream Weekend, for instance. Like that does very well for Negril. Like people come for partying for a week, and hotels are booked out, and we charge our winter rates because the demand is so high. We have to pull down the demand, sort of thing. And so that is the summer usually, but this summer again was very consistent, super consistent, and that fed over right through September. And then looking forward to, I would say, next month, in terms of November being Thanksgiving and that sort of thing. But I would say more so looking forward to December for the winter, Christmas, New Year's, and then moving into January. And I know, like, if you are thinking about coming down, I would say, like, really consider booking like your plane ticket and your hotel soon. That's specifically for the holidays, and then also February. Just, I can speak to specifically Negril, like that's a very popular time of the year, specifically for Canadians. So that's, like, we call February Canada month. Honestly, that's what it is. And it is people who leave February always book February for the next year. So just a little advice as far as if you're thinking about moving down. And then I also am hearing and also seeing like airline tickets are like ridiculous. Like they're becoming like outrageous. There was somebody who was trying to book ThropX on the spot. They're like just a couple of days ago. I was telling them about it. They wanted to come down, and they were doing round trip tickets from the 10th to the 14th from New York, and it was $900, which is outrageous. Got completely outrageous. My ticket here, round trip, unfortunately, like I paid a lot of money. It was $600 and something dollars. Granted, I did book just a few days before, but still, to pay $600 round trip from New York to Jamaica is, it should be more around like 450. I would say it would be kind of like the average price, not too low, not too high. Nonetheless, I had no choice. I had to come here, so I had to pay that. But just something to take into consideration as we move from fall into the winter. Let's hop over to the comments real quick. Andrew Blake, good to see you. MDL says, howdy Throp and Throppers, chiming in from Clinton, Maryland. Excellent. Stanley Franklin says, I remember when a Thropper suggested ThropX. Oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one that remembers that, because the idea wasn't my idea, and then the name wasn't my idea either. That's just so cool that it just organically came from the community, and then we sort of, I would say, we developed the idea of ThropX together essentially. A Hicks Thropper watching from Upper West Side, good to see you. Kay watching from Charles County in southern Maryland. Okay, got a few Maryland people in here, awesome. Ocean Gray, nice to see you. STG, STW, just got home. Appreciate you chiming in right away. Always a plus, always appreciated. Okay, let's move on to the next article real quick. Not real quick. All right, yeah, like I said, most of these are going to be finance economy articles. All right, so this one is from Jamaicans.com. I'm sure many people here are familiar with this website. I would say pretty popular website for information in the Jamaican community. I'll throw the link there in the comments, and then we can read it together. Sorry, there's like a ton of advertisements on here, but nonetheless, we're there for the information. So this one is about the plans for the tallest approved building in Jamaica. This was posted 3 hours ago, so fresh off the press. Pretty short. Let's go through it. Jamaican authorities have given their full approval for the local firm Stratosphere Development Limited to begin construction of the tallest building in Jamaica. The Ascent at the Oxford Sheer Luxury, as the building is called, will be located at 18 Oxford Street in St. Andrew. Approval was given after Stratosphere Development impressed multiple agencies with its careful attention to safety issues. The agencies involved included the Jamaican Fire Brigade, the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, and the National Water Commission. In an interview with the Jamaican Observer, the CEO of Stratosphere Development Limited, Littleton Tanny Shirley, said the project is scheduled for completion in 2024 and will involve 3 luxury elements: hotel, residential, and commercial space. Shirley added that the project will put Jamaica on its way to a status comparable to Silicon Valley or Singapore. Interesting. The iconic building represents the ambition to spur new investment opportunities in New Kingston, he said, noting that most cities' development on the basis of high-rise buildings, and it is time for Jamaica to put forth a more global perspective on its economic development. Shirley gave the government agencies involved with the project high praise and commendation for the meticulous way in which they examined the details of the construction proposal to ensure the safety of Jamaica's people and environment. While the approval process has been a long one, Shirley said he was extremely pleased with how the relevant agencies followed appropriate guidelines. He added that his firm was patient with the involved entities as they explored the project's details because this is not something you jump and do overnight. Elements such as traffic flow and fire mitigation were two critical matters examined, and Shirley assured the agencies that technology, such as the use of drones for first responders, for fire mitigation, and state-of-the-art extinguishing technologies are part of the plan. While the building is high-end, elegant, and pricey, the finished construction will include a variety of features that will result in jobs training and inspiration for workers and school children. Shirley's ambition is to make the building 27 stories high, with its top floor having an observatory tower that overlooks Kingston, St. Andrew, and beyond the hills and mountains where the general public can visit at a reasonable cost. The building will also include an aquarium and have two huge blocks of parking towers. Carrie Douglas, the Jamaican Labour Party counsel for the Trafalgar Division, expressed pride at having the historic project within her domain that supports and promotes the Jamaican government's ambition to create a new Jamaica. Let's see anything in the comments. That's pretty awesome. 27 stories high. That'll be the tallest building in Jamaica. I guess this is where it is here in the picture. Let's see if we can find this thing. Let's see the name of it. I'm going to try to see if we can look it up. Oh, I just seen it. Just saw it. That's probably not it. All right, this looks like the website. The Ascent at the Oxford. I'm assuming these are artistic renditions of what it will look like. Let's snoop around here a little bit and see what we got. So it's a little small for me. All right, so this is the commercial office space, said to be home of some of the world's most powerful brands and house top-notch specialists and professionals. The Ascent at Oxford will provide premium commercial space and fully serviced offices to the highest specifications. I'm just kind of skimming through here. Okay, our corporate offices suite extend over 10 highly efficient floors and range in size of 6,000 to 8,000 square feet, 18,000 square feet, excuse me. The building is excellent. Building offers excellent vertical transportation with 6 dedicated elevators and 2 lobby entrances exclusively dedicated to office suites starting from floors 9 through 30. Interesting. So the article says that there will be 27 floors, and on their website, it looks like they're going to be 30 floors. So starting from floors 9 through 30, each office level offers a stunning view of Kingston Harbor and city. Interesting. So I don't know if it's going to be 27 or 30. Maybe this was ambitious and they were going for 30 and only got 27. I don't know. It says thousands of trees and plants to minimizing heat transfer, thus optimizing energy efficiency. That's great. prices increases by 5% in blocks of 3 floors. Floors 2 to 8 are reserved already, it seems. Okay, that's the office space. Let's check out the hotel. And I'm wondering if this is multiple buildings or this is one building, because they have, from what they're saying in the article, they have 3 concepts in one. And then also on their website, they have commercial space, a hotel, and a residence in one. So just wondering if it's like one building, or the tallest aspect of the development is the one building that's going to be 27 floors. And then around it, we'll have commercial space, residence, hotel, blah, blah. I don't know. Just wondering how, what the plan is there. Let's see here. Let's see. So we're in the hotel aspect. They said the living experience with comfort, construction, design, and pricing. That's what we want to know. All right, moving on to the third aspect of the concept, which is the residence penthouse. All right. Oh, here we go. Okay, we got numbers down here. So let's see. Let's read through it real quick. Introducing Oxford's penthouse, a stunning new addition featuring beautiful views, metropolitan Kingston and St. Andrew. Our modern suites ranging from 700 to 10,000 square feet. Oh, that's pretty huge. Blend of breathtaking architectural design and awe-inspiring interiors. Wonderful. There are 25 private penthouse suites, which spans across 13 penthouse floors, each drawing inspiration from classic European apartments of the 1920s and 30s. Additionally, there will be one residence floor per floor from the 20th floor to the 26th floor with the swimming pool and balcony. The penthouse will be occupying the entire floor. The lower dual level penthouse is located on the 15th floor to the 19th floor will have 2 residents per floor. Pretty cool. All right, this is the smallest the Empire penthouse is $750 per square feet. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that math in my head. So 750 times 750. So that's 562,000 US for that. So that's you can keep track of this if you want. So the 750 square foot suite is going for 562,500 US. The Portland penthouse 2-bedroom suites 1,000 per square foot, and this is 1,400 square feet. So that's 1.4 milli for that. $1.4 million. The Port Royal penthouse 3-bedroom suite. Do all this math, but anyway, that is 9 million US dollars. Oh man. Okay, let's keep going. We're gonna keep climbing here. The Blue Mountain penthouse 5-bedroom suite is mind-blowing. This is what they wrote, not me. That's 2,000 US dollars per square foot. Only 2 left, so you guys better hurry up. And this is 6,000 square feet. It is $12 million. $12 million. This is New York. We are deep in New York City pricing here for luxury apartments. So, but you are, it seems like, I would think, I don't know that much about luxury apartments in New York City, but I feel like you're getting more bedrooms or more square footage, I would assume. Anyway, so the presidential 6-bedroom suite is the epitome of luxury, end quote. And it's going for $2,500 per square foot. And there is, well, they have, oh, this is the only one they put the price. They said $15 million. So there is 12,000 square feet. We'll just do it anyway and be consistent. What I say, 2,500 per square foot. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, that don't make sense. So it's 12,000 square feet times 2,500. All right, that math doesn't add up because that's $30 million. But they say for the detail oriented, the bathroom sinks were carved from single slabs of Fujian marble, and the television cabinet is solid mother of pearl. Sure, it's $15 million, but it could be money well spent for one hell of living your dream and a unique Jamaican spectacle. The presidential suite is the self-proclaimed top dog of Jamaica penthouses, allowing you to enjoy all the splendor of Kingston sunshine. If you are even a little deterred by the price tag, check out the bar lounge area, private swimming pool on the roof with its 360-degree view of Kingston. Yeah, a little too rich for my blood. Little too rich for my blood, but that's an interesting. When I see this, when I see stuff like this, I'm like, wow, this is kind of crazy. Like this is Jamaica. Like this is the Jamaica that we're turning into, kind of thing. Which is like, no judgment. I'm not mad at it. It just kind of just continues down the path of what we've been talking about, and then as we've discussed other real estate prospects, developments, etc., in the past before, and we're I would say we're price conscious in being an educated group of people, and I feel like this community has like a real feel of the market, and because we keep up with it so much and we understand what is existing, and we have a good understanding of the value of existing properties across a spectrum of different types. And then when we look at what's coming and the new developments that are happening, and we see this, like, this is, to me, this is like an extreme outlier in terms of its pricing. $15 million, man. I'm sure there are houses in Jamaica that are worth far more than that. I would assume they were like some type of estates or something like that. But this is up there. This is out of my price range for sure. But let's hop over to the comments real quick and see what I'm missing here. Hey, Kathy, chiming in from another person from Baltimore. Awesome. Stanley Franklin says, would love to see Jamaica 10 years from now. Yeah, I think Jamaica is going to be very, very different from now, 10 years from now. I mean, obviously, they say this development's going to be done in 2024. And then I shouldn't even be bringing this up to you guys, but the Kingston real estate video that I did, and I know I still owe you the rest of the series, but the residence at Terra Nova, that's another luxury building. And so what happens with this, and the article alluded to this, like, to get these approvals, we got to understand that these development groups, they've been working on this probably since like 2012. They're probably looking at like a 10-year horizon or something close to that. This is not an idea that they came up with last year or whatever, and they just started working on it, and now they got approved this year. Like, this is years, environmental planning approval, like they said, fire brigade, traffic, and understanding traffic flow and how the existence of that building is going to affect the roads in Kingston. And as you know, Kingston traffic is like just ridiculous, bonkers ridiculous. And you got to go through all of these regulations, and I'm sure there were many iterations to their plan to accommodate and to gain understanding of how this development is going to have an effect on Kingston at large and Jamaica at large, as a matter of fact. So my point in saying that is that I'm sure there are other developers that are going through their own journey and probably in different parts of their journey of getting approval for buildings. And I'm not saying maybe there is, but I haven't heard. I'm not saying there's like another development team that's looking to go 50 floors or 60 floors, trying to be the even taller building. But don't be surprised if that comes up in the next 5 years, that there is another developer that's coming in and they're going to we're going to do 60 stories, and then somebody's going to try to top them, like, no, we're going to do 70, 80, 100-story building, whatever it is. But it's going to continue to go that way, especially with God only creating a limited amount of land, and it makes more sense to go higher. Hence, a New York City, right? A Philadelphia, like these major urban sectors around the world. And as Jamaica continues to become, I would say, a beacon of the Caribbean, a beacon of the the Western Hemisphere in many ways, people are going to continue to come in and to do business here and want to be a part of this growth that's happening. Article we just talked about before, 4.8% growth in the second quarter. These are great numbers. And I'm not trying to, like, we have our challenges as a country, and like, I'm not trying to paint this perfect picture, but if you look at the indicators, if you look at the signs and you look at them objectively, you have to say and agree, like, things are looking positive. Things are looking positive, and nothing's guaranteed. Nothing at all is guaranteed, no matter what. But it's definitely better than being on the other side of that coin, and us having negative growth, or us not having people come to Jamaica after the pandemic, and hotels not having guests, et cetera, et cetera. And I guess we do. I mean, I feel like we do have a good balance in our discussions here, and we do keep it real, and we do understand the challenges that the country has. But objectively speaking, there are many, many positive things that I would say are happening in terms of it, with respect to Jamaica and the economy and the development of the country. And this is another sign of that to me. MDL says February is the coldest month in Toronto. Yep, that's why Canadians flock to Jamaica. Chris JW says the project page explains everything. Yeah, I think we went in a lot of great detail. Thank you for that, Chris. CK Bond 41 says, hi, Throp. Sorry I missed your most famous opening debut on Wednesday. No sweat, no sweat. I think we can get into it later if we want, but next Wednesday, it's... as I think what's going to happen, and I know what's going to happen, it's do not miss television. But we'll talk about that another time. But definitely, I would say the next one day should be an interesting one. Candice says, could be the 30 floors include the underground maintenance floors with 27 floors open for the public residents. Could be. Yeah, thank you for that, Candice. That was talking about the article, the building we were just talking about, and the article saying 27 floors, the website saying 30 floors. So that may be why there's a disparity there. Calligraphy says probably one building. Check out Stantec building in EDM. Sorry, I don't know what that stands for. Retail at the bottom, hotel in the middle, residence at top. Oh, gotcha. Okay, that can make perfect sense. Chris JW says, does anyone know if the Portmore Medical City is still happening? They still have a website. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody else already answered that in the comments. I'm not sure about that. Forever, $12 million for a penthouse in Kingston. Ha 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 ha. Great for whoever is the realtor who sells those units. Yeah, that's a lot. That's not even the most expensive one. CK Bond says, Throp. Let me put it up there. Throp, no one is spending $15 million in Jamaica for an apartment. It could be. I mean, think about it, though. I think that's ridiculous. I mean, you can get a New York City penthouse. You can get a New York City apartment for that. And there are much more expensive places in New York City for that. Than that, I should say. But yeah, $15 million. And I mean, because when you spend that kind of money, right? And I'm not putting down the developers, I'm not putting down Jamaica, I'm not putting down Kingston at all, but it cannot be, at least in my mind and my thinking, it cannot be just the four walls that you're paying for. Like without a doubt, the view is going to be spectacular. It's going to be amazing, but you have to be paying for location. Like that's why a New York City apartment, penthouse apartment, you can pay 20, 30, much more millions of dollars than that, tens of millions, we'll say that. And because you're going to be on Billionaires Row, you're going to be in the heart of New York City, you're going to be in a place where you can do business with people and companies from all over the world, and that you're paying a high price for that convenience, an extremely high price for that convenience. And somebody paying $15 million for an apartment, this is the 1% of the 1%. And I would assume that would be a corporate buy. I could be wrong. I could be way off. But to me, that's what would make sense. Somebody personally buying that, I don't know, but they know. I would assume a company developer like this has done their market research and they understand the clientele and they understand who they're going after. And they have to have a list. I mean, they probably have a list of like 20, 30 people globally. And like, all right, these are the people we're going to go after. These are the people we're going to try to sell to. Because like there's only a handful of people that can afford to buy an apartment of this caliber and at this price point. Glory says, Stantec building is the tallest building in west of Toronto in Canada. Parking stalls have separate title from residents. Oh, interesting. Price for parking stall, just start at 70,000 Canadian. Wow, that's crazy. Camille Lewis says those prices are crazy, especially in this economy with low-paying jobs. I'll take that a step further too, is that, and I'm not predicting gloom and doom here, but when you look at the economic indicators, you look at inflation. I'm speaking specifically for the U.S. And obviously, this, as the saying goes, the U.S. catches a cold. The U.S. catches a cold. We sneeze. I don't know. We get whatever it is. I'm totally messing it up. But the point is our economy is very much tied and affected to the U.S. economy. Although I had, in speaking with the realtors that I've interviewed and worked with so far with this channel, they speak to the recession of 2008, and they say that Jamaica's real estate market, at least, was little to not affected at all. And it was this kind of bubble. Jamaica still maintained its growth, and Jamaica still was, their development of real estate continued without a hit, so to speak. So I don't know if the same thing is going to happen. Many economists, many business owners, many CEOs of Fortune 500 companies are predicting a recession to happen in early 2023. You also look at Florida and what happened with Hurricane Ian. And this is an article in New York Times, and they were talking about the impact of Hurricane Ian and the destruction that it's had. So it is the most expensive natural disaster that the U.S. has ever faced. And they took like a multi-pronged approach to understanding the economic impacts of this. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because I feel when we think about Jamaica, its development, and we think about also investing in there and being a part of this, I think we can't look at Jamaica in isolation. And same thing, I would say, if you're looking to make an investment, especially in real estate, if you're looking to invest in a foreign country, a new industry, whatever it is, like you're looking at multiple pieces of information. You're not just looking at the price of this house. You're not looking at the price of this penthouse suite. you're looking at all these global economic indicators, and you're wondering about how you're going to finance this thing, what the appreciation could be, will be on whatever that you're investing in, and could it go lower? Am I overpaying, et cetera, et cetera. So, and then I would also say you're also looking at the timing of your investment. So bringing it back to Florida, and the article was talking about, and then they also had the podcast on the daily, that how the structure of the Florida real estate has been set up. And they took it all the way back to Hurricane Andrew in 1992, which my mother was in. I remember she told me the story. She was in Florida, and hurricane came through, and she had to hide in a bathtub. And that's how, and like the hurricane came over, she heard it, and she survived, obviously. And what happened after that is that in order to allow the Florida real estate industry to become mature, and also to give people confidence to invest, and for individuals to get mortgages for their homes, you need to have insurance. So the US government takes care of flood insurance automatically. So that's one thing that they didn't have to worry about, insurance companies specifically. The other aspect of it that the insurance companies do have to worry about is the actual wind damage from the hurricane, and that's their highest risk. And so what many of the insurance companies did from 1992 is they got what is called, I believe the term is reinsurance. So they got insurance on their insurance from these major global insurance companies like Lloyd's of London, who would essentially cover them if they were unable to cover their claims for their clients in the event of a natural disaster happening. And Ian is one of those situations where it seems, it hasn't started happening yet, but it seems like these insurance companies aren't going to have enough funds to pay out to their clients for their claims. Therefore, the Lloyd's of Londons of the world are going to have to cover them because they paid this reinsurance over these years. And so what they are predicting could happen, we don't know, is that based off of what has happened with Ian, these Lloyd's of London insurance companies are no longer going to want to take on these risks of reinsuring these insurance companies that exist. Now, what does that mean? That is going to affect the ability for individuals to get mortgages on homes that they want to buy, especially these coastal homes on the shorelines of Florida. And you cannot get a mortgage without insurance. That's everybody knows that, right? And so if you can't get a mortgage, you can't get a loan. You can't get a loan, you can't get the house. So if you can't get the house, what's that mean? There's not going to be a sale where there would normally be. So in a sense, what the article was saying was that the Florida real estate market was, in a sense, inflated because of this loophole of insurance companies getting this reinsurance. And again, without the reinsurance, having that catch net, if you will, by insurance companies from the Lloyd's of London's of the world, the reinsurers, there's seemingly not going to be a lot of growth in the Florida real estate industry, and we don't know what's going to happen. But my presumption is if you don't have that and people can't get mortgages, there is no real estate, or it's going to be a very, very different real estate market in Florida. And that is really the driving factor of Florida's economy. As you know, there is no state tax there. It's I would say, a very appealing state to move to and to do business with because of the tax laws that they have there. But if you don't have a thriving real estate industry, that really hinders growth, and it really hinders the economy. So I say all that to say is that these things, whether we see it or believe it or not, it will affect Jamaica in one way or another, especially Florida being proximity the proximity is to Jamaica, and we know a lot of Jamaicans live, I would say, live in both places, especially in Kingston. There are flights from Kingston to Florida, whether it's Miami, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, like, every few hours. I mean, you could get a flight at like 1 a.m. kind of thing, and that to Florida. That just goes to show you like how popular and how frequent people move between Florida and Jamaica. So this is just something to think about. And I would say the last aspect of that is with global warming. And so whether you believe it or not, we're living it, right? You're seeing, and the scientists have predicted this. You're seeing the increased severity of storms. They are not only they're predicted to increase in frequency, but in strengths. And now the focus is, because scientists are saying that we as humans, especially Americans, we're not moving fast enough in terms of trying to combat climate change. And now the thought and strategy is becoming to climate adaptation. And so part of climate adaptation is, within this spectrum, is that people, they say, I mean, they didn't say this outright, but like, I feel like the connotation is that people should not be living on the shores of Florida, like on the beach, because what happens is, if you have X amount of people living, say, on the coastline in Miami, for example, or somewhere in Florida, and they're obviously more susceptible for their house being blown away, destroyed, and are having major damage and having insurance claims come after these storms pass. And so what happens is, if there's somebody, and how they mitigate, or one of the ways they mitigate against that risk, is having people who own homes, say, in the insular part of Florida, who are less susceptible to floods, less susceptible to wind damage, and not being on the coastline. Their premiums are going to go up because of that. And so basically, the people who are inland are going to be paying for the insurance, in a sense, indirectly, for the people living on the coastline. And that is going to affect everybody, because everybody's premiums are going to go up because of the people who are living on the coastlines, who are more susceptible to flooding, to wind, etc., and to damage from a hurricane. So it's a domino effect, is what I'm saying here, and that undoubtedly Jamaica will be somehow affected by this. But long rant. Let's keep going here. NBL says plane fare is outrageous to Jamaica. I paid $1,100 for a connected economy ticket, which I booked 2 months ago in advance from DC to Montego Bay this past summer. That's probably the worst I've ever heard. That is incredible. $1,100. I don't know. That is outrageous. That is really outrageous. That's pretty high. I don't know. That's oil prices. I don't know what to say or do about that. We're definitely handcuffed. I will also say, I was looking at the breakdown of my ticket, and I've heard this before. Jamaica has a lot of taxes on our plane tickets. We do. Maybe I'll go through the breakdown of my ticket at some point, at least this ticket. And it's probably needed. I've heard this before, that from people in the hospitality industry outside of Jamaica, they were like, man, your taxes are just too much. But one of those taxes is I forget what it's called, but it goes to the TF. That's like the biggest portion. I think it's like $20 or $30. I can't remember what it is, but that money is working. I can tell you that. That's working. There's a couple of other things here or there. I don't know if we can lower them or get rid of some of them, but I know at least the TEF tax, that is helping tremendously with Jamaica's economy and Jamaica's development, and definitely the development of tourism. Calligraphy says people will buy it. Probably not Jamaicans, though. Prices like that will cause others' property in the area to increase. Average Jamaican will not be able to live in that area. That's for sure. those prices are going to skyrocket. Everything around there. And like I said, you best believe there are more developments of this nature that are like coming right behind that. 100%, no question. I haven't heard anything, but that's a fact. These guys are, whoever they are, they're setting a trend, and they're leading the way on this. Miss Cole, good to see you. Seema chiming in from Jersey. Thanks for being here. MDL says, I'm trying to purchase a 3-bedroom house in St. Thomas that was built in 1990. The asking price is 35 million Jamaican dollars. I think this is kind of high considering that it needs renovation. Sorry, I'm just going to do quick math on what that is in US. So it's roughly 233,000 US dollars. 3-bedroom St. Thomas, 1990. How much land do you got? How big is the land? I think that's my next question. And St. Thomas is, generally speaking, and one of the most underdeveloped parishes in Jamaica. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. It's really nice out there. I remember, did I see the sunrise there? I feel like I did. But beautiful, absolutely beautiful out there. MDL, I'm just curious, how big is the land and everything? Hello, Shayna Love Coaching. Good to see you. Kevin, good to see you. Kevin says probably corporate purchases as opposed to individuals. Yeah, I was presuming the same thing. I think that's what I was thinking as well. Lorraine Ellis Clay, good to see you. T says, is it that real estate trusts are now being traded on Jamaica stock market, affecting prices? That's a good question. I don't know. I would say if it would affect, this is just me thinking out loud, if it would affect prices, it would be in that you are essentially pooling money to do bigger, more expensive developments, and in the real world, taking that money, putting up a building or making a development, you are increasing prices, general prices in that area, just like this building that they're going to put up. You got a $15 million penthouse suite. Everything around that is going to go up. There's no doubt about it. And so, as if you have a real estate trust that is on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, in my mind, if you're doing these type of you're pooling this type of money to do these bigger developments, like, to me, wherever you're going to put these developments, the surrounding areas, the real estate is going to appreciate for sure. That's the way I would think would do it. It would do it. MDS says, Jamaica is so very beautiful. I dream daily of coming back home to live and be able to eat healthy food and drink fresh water and not cooped up in a house for months and months. Yeah. Nobody wants that, right? You'll do it someday, I'm sure. Chris JW says, if you scroll further down on the homepage, on the ascent at Odershire, it shows that there are multiple towers and it shows pictures. All right, let's check that out. Okay, I see. All right, you're right. Okay, thank you for that, Chris. Appreciate that. Oh, yeah, this is a campus. This is definitely a campus. They got to change the name of that that screenshot. All right, so this looks like the main tower here. All right, let's. Can we get bigger? Are they beautiful? Okay, look at it together. So on the left here, it says residential, 9 stories of penthouse, 2 and 3 story penthouses. Hotel. So the residents are above the hotel. So you got residents on both sides. Hotel, 18 stories of hotel space, 90,000 square feet of hotel space, includes private lobby floor. And then below, you got 10 stories parking. $173 spaces. Commercial stores on the other side, 90,000 square feet, 18 stores, 140 parking spaces. On the other side, 9 stories of penthouses, including private balcony, private lobby floor, 45,000 square feet. And also on the other side, full floor, 5,000 square foot private terrace and pool. Pretty nice. Ah, looks beautiful. Yeah, this thing is definitely a campus. Oh, I see. So that's the NCB building. All right. Initially I thought that was part of it. Okay, that's the NCB building. All right, I know exactly where this thing is. I think we all do if you know where the NCB building is. Oh, wow. You got a that's crazy. Everybody's got pools. Yeah, maybe I start saving up my 15 million from now. Yeah, this is a statement property. I mean, you're going to be seeing this from miles away. From miles away, the ascent. It's pretty awesome. Let's see if there are any more pictures. Oh, these are all the pictures. Groundbreaking October 2022. South Tower estimated occupancy December 2023. North Tower estimated occupancy December 2024. The Oxford at the launch. Don't know. Oops. Don't know what that is. Got a lot of approval here from NEPA, Jamaican Civil Aviation Authority, Jamaica Fire Brigade, National Works Agency, no objection. And these are some articles, I guess. Well, these are oh, we don't need to go to that. We already got the new stuff that just came out. Interesting. Thank you for that, Chris. Oh, it looks really, really awesome. And it's a good, I mean, the only thing is, like, I guess they have to change that whole area traffic wise. I don't know. Like, it's crazy down there already. Like the traffic is insane. And I'm thinking of even an aspect of the video that I did, the Kingston real estate video. I remember being stuck in traffic going past the NCB building. So that whole area, psh, man, I don't know. I'm sure they got plans. But adding this there, whew, it's going to only increase that traffic like crazy. All right, let's keep rolling. Cherie, good to see you. T says many insurance companies have left Florida even before the hurricane, but it's not mandatory for cash buyers. Yeah, you're right about that. And it seems like a lot of insurance companies are going to continue to leave Florida because of it's just too risky, but that could continue to be a trend. Chris Charles, Long Island in the house, Strong Island in the house, good to see you. PAL chiming in from the UK. Ms. Cole says, yep, the head tax is high for Jamaica. Yep. PAL says scheduled flights from the UK is about £1,200 into Mobay. I mean, that's a lot. I guess the UK the pound is almost the US, but that seemed, I mean, compared to, sorry, I forget who it was, paying an $1,100 ticket that was MDL, from DC to Jamaica. That's crazy. You know, I could understand coming across the pond paying over $1,000. That seems more justifiable. Although I know people have paid far less than that, like in the 800 $700 range as well. But it's 1100 from DC. That's 3 hour, 3.5 hour flight. Insane. Donna Bryce says taxes on Canadian tickets are very high as well. Okay, we're not the only ones. Maruz, peace to you. Rakia, chiming in from Cali. Camille Lou says, is the land very big and fruited? Is it near the sea? Has a view? Those things hike up the prices. Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing about that house, that 233,000 US dollar 3-bedroom house you were talking about, MDL. If you can give us some clarity. Okay, here we go. MDL says, yes, it is less than a quarter acre and does have fruit trees and is near enough to the sea. Yeah, you could be paying for the land, less than a quarter acre. That's something to factor in because you can get in the grill. You're getting less in the grill for sure. For 200,000, you're probably paying. Man, you'll get a 1 bedroom for 200,000, 225. I would say you'll get a 1 bedroom, not a 3 bedroom. You'll be on the ocean. Aqueducts, which is downtown the grill. It's an apartment, not really a house. It's 300,000 US, and you may or may not get ocean view. But it seems I feel like you can. My point too is as like I'm bringing context to that deal, MDL, but I also think there's some room for negotiation there as well. I hope there is. Being an older, and it seems like you're gonna, as you're alluding to, you're gonna have to do some renovations. But I think you can bring that down a little bit. But and I'll also say it's not outrageous. It's not outrageous, and I think St. Thomas is going to do well. It seems like there's a lot of chatter about that, but it could be a long wait. And when I say long wait, you could be up to 10 years to really seeing the major development happening over there and the appreciation of this house and the land that you're looking to buy. But doesn't seem too crazy, but I think you can definitely bring that down. Katie Vibes chiming in from Miami. Good to see you. PL says we have lots of high-end apartments in UK, and most of the buyers are foreign, especially from China, who have disposable income and leaving them empty. This was before the pandemic. Yeah, you're seeing that in New York. I also seen that a lot in New York. And then also I hear that happens a lot in different parts of Canada and like the major cities, and especially in Vancouver and also in Toronto. I've heard the same thing. That happened in Florida too. I heard a lot of Russians were doing that. They were just buying up apartments and they were just leaving them. They just needed to put their money somewhere. I don't know if that's continuing to happen. I would assume with everything that's going on. Good point. T says I'm not crazy about high rises. I think it's like one of these necessary evils as the population grows, where people are going to go and people are going to continue to be in these dense urban areas. I think these developers are forced to go up. But I think high rises are good for certain areas, good for Kingston, not necessarily good for New Grill kind of thing, right? And load. I think it's important, especially in country as an island country like Jamaica, is that a lot of these things are segmented, and you can get both, or you can get what you're looking for. Like if you want low density, you want high density urban cities, you can do that, but everywhere shouldn't be high rise. Joy chiming in from Toronto. Marie C chiming in from White Plains. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here, Marie. Camille Lewis says Kingston traffic is maddening. It takes about a half hour just to turn a corner in New Kingston. I can't imagine how traffic was going to be with these buildings will call traffic. These new buildings will cause. We need cars that fly. Perhaps. Yeah. And I've said this before. Like it's like Kingston, like in New York, for example, it's like you can like pop around and do this, do that, and like get multiple things done. Like in Kingston, it's like you can do one or two things in the day because the traffic, like you're spending half the day in traffic because it's so crazy. And they're doing things, it's not like the government is unaware, and they've made great progress, especially in like the Barbican area. They've made a lot of progress and they continue to do so. But man, yeah. And the other thing is it's like Jamaica does not have great public transportation. That's the other thing. It's just like I hope they're thinking as well as like, how do we get less people to be on the roads? How do we incentivize them to use public transportation? Train would be good. I know we spoke about that a lot, or speak about that a lot on this channel. Training would be good. I know we have the public buses, but I think train would be would help in a major way, because that would hopefully, I would assume, take some of those buses off the roads, and that would not force people, but incentivize people to take trains, especially if you can get to places faster and it's more convenient, more comfortable, etc. Good advice, Camille. At MDL, ensure that you get a valuation for peace of mind. Yeah, that's an absolute must. Just speaking to all of these realtors, like getting a valuation is super important. So Buckley says, hi, Throp. If you are a little flexible with your travel dates, that can sometimes help with bringing the airfare down a bit. I found airfare for under 700 round trip from Portland, Oregon to Mobay. Yeah, that's a good point. Flexibility definitely helps. I know with this trip that I took here, like I wanted it, I was a little flexible, like I was a day or two, but not so much that it would affect the pricing of my ticket in any substantial way. So I just had to kind of bite the bullet, but that's the risk, if you will, that you take with buying these last minute tickets. But I'm doing New York City Marathon in a couple of weeks, which I'm going to Jamaica. I'm going back to Jamaica and then coming back for it. And I'm still looking at tickets there. I'm just like, geez, I don't know. It's pretty, I forget what they were, but they were up there. They're up there. And these are like quick trips too. Because that's literally less than a week before ThropX. So I'm like literally coming here, running the marathon, and then flying back to Jamaica and doing last minute prep for ThropX. But good point. Flexibility with dates definitely gives you a little bit more leverage. Christine Harris says the Canadian government placed extra taxes on international buyers, so it slowed down a little. I remember reading an article about that, and I thought that was good. The U.S. government hasn't done anything like that, it's unfortunate. Well, the article I was reading on the Canadian real estate situation, they were just saying how it was pricing out the average Canadian, and it just seems so unfair, especially for working class people, first time home buyers. They were just completely priced out the market, and it was very frustrating for them. And then it kind of created this resentment towards these foreign investors, and some of them don't realize what they're doing. Some of them do and don't care. There's also, like, I would also say certain aspects of, even I could speak to like New York. And so there are these like little towns, like, so during the pandemic, and I think this was happening before the pandemic, but definitely during the pandemic, that people were looking to move out of New York City, and they were looking at these like little towns in upstate New York, and specifically like Hudson Valley, and I think Newburgh was another of them. But they were just moving to these little towns that were like just slightly above the city. You could take the Metro North into Grand Central, but live in a place where you have a home, you have a front yard, a backyard, that sort of thing, and you work in the city, or maybe you're doing the majority of your work at home on your computer, and these home buyers, because they were, say, working in tech or they were working in finance and they were buying up these houses and they were increasing the demand, is that so many of these people who that lived there, grew up there, and these were townies essentially, they were being priced out, and they were, taxes were going up, blah, blah, blah. And so the people and the residents of those town of the who've been there for years and even generations, they were very upset that these new people were coming in and like basically hiking things up. And that continues to be, that's in New York, and that seems like that's going to continue as well, along these same lines of what's happening in Canada. And these are not, for the most part, these are not foreigners. These are New Yorkers. These are Americans, but they're taking, again, their New York City salaries, if you will, and moving into these lower price markets and increasing the value of those homes and everything in the community around them. CK Bond says Negril haven't got the amenities like the popular places. That is why the price may be lower. I would say like Negril is actually expensive. And, we talked about this before, like 1-bedroom apartment, $225,000, and old dated constructed development. You got Little Bay Country Club, 2-bedroom, going for $500,000. Imagine when the amenities do come, and they are coming. The amenities of the town are coming. They are slowly rolling in. We talked about the new high-low. We talked about the new hospital. We talked about the new plaza, KFC Plaza. I read months ago. We read months ago of luxury condos coming on the beach across from the new KFC Plaza. I'm not sure if they have anything to do with each other. We're talking about the fruit and vegetable market that is already being constructed downtown Negril, the relocation of many squatting communities in downtown, the development of that area. So there are things slowly happening. I would presume a lot of these things aren't going to be online for another 5 years or so. I mean, like everything that I just mentioned, I would think would be completed, so to speak, and really change the landscape of Negril within 5 years. You got a lot of construction happening in hotels as well. So just to mention a few off the top of my head, and these are all like positive indicators when I think of Negril and I think of the direction, and then I think of the confidence that these entrepreneurs, business people have in the Negril local economy and in the national economy of Jamaica. So you got Sandals Negril putting up, it looks like a whole new building. They were doing the cement pour last week. I was running in the morning and then driving home at night, and I saw like the big trucks there with, I forget what they're called, but like the piping from the truck that goes over the fence and down, and they were doing, pouring the decking and everything like that. So that is happening. I don't know how tall those buildings, if it's building or buildings, but they're expanding their property that is doing that, from what everything I understand, does very, very well. And then also beaches, which is part of Sandals. They're doing, looks like at least one building. I haven't been inside, but like I run by it almost every day, and they're making a lot of progress with that. That thing is moving very quickly. Then Skylark, they're expanding their hotel. They're doing 12 rooms on top. So they're going up one more floor. It's 3 floors. They're expanding. They're 12 more rooms. And this is me speaking to one of the owners. They, told me this, and I don't think it's a secret either. And they're also expanding their spa. I love their spa. Like that's one of my go-to spas is at Skylark. I haven't been back because it's under construction, but then I go to their sister property, Rock House, which I also very much love their spa as well. And anyway, sorry, they're expanding. And then many hotels are doing renovations. Small hotels, they're doing renovations and keeping up. We're doing renovations at Travelers as well, slowly but surely. And we're just trying to keep up with the market, keep up with demand, keep up with the expectation of the modern day traveler as well. So these are just when you just like take all these data points, like when I think about Negril and I think about where we're going and what's happening, it's just positive, and I don't, and again, I'm not trying to paint a picture of rainbows, cotton candy, and butterflies here, but a lot of positive when you just look at the the, the data and the evidence. It's positive. It's positive. So anyway, we will continue moving forward here. Chris PW says Kingston needs to develop more roads such as I-95 that cuts through the city instead of 2 to 4 lane main roads. I don't know how. I mean, that's a great idea, but logistically, how would they do that? Logistically, how would they do that? They would have to use, I don't know. I mean, let's pull up the map here, Chris. We're not going to figure this out, but it's just gonna kind of, my point in even just like bringing this up, it's to show you just how dense Kingston is. I mean, this is like a mess. It's like a nightmare. I mean, while we're here, let's try to find Oxford Road. I'm trying to see if I can do this by just looking, and I don't think I can. All right, let's do it. All right, let's do NCB building. Okay, boom. All right, so no, that is not. Is that it? No, no atrium. No, is it the atrium? No. All right, this is Oxford Street. I don't think that's the NCB building that we just saw. The one. Oh, maybe somebody can help me out here. I'm struggling. But my point is, it's like it's just a super like when you look at like the road structure here. I don't know. I mean, I'm no civil engineer or town planner or anything like that, but I do know it's like somewhere down here, like in, not all the way down by the harbor, but like it's close to downtown, like towards downtown. Um, but I guess you all get the idea, unless somebody can guide me as to where the NTB building is. What else can I look up as a? Let me see. So, NCB Tower here. This is it. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is the NCB towers here. So if we can, let's see, stratosphere. So this is our reference point here. So this is the NCB tower that we are looking overhead. And this is the water, I believe, back here, and then this is the Tower of the Ascent. So let's see if we can do a little bit. Where is our map here? Oh, here. So it's somewhere here. I mean, is this the lot here? I don't know, but it's pretty close. Could be here. I mean, it's somewhere in this area where they're putting this tower, and I can promise you, this road right here, Old Hope Road, crazy. Oxford Road, crazy in traffic, crazy, crazy. And again, if we were to Chris's idea, where would this highway go? What can we do here, or how can we expand? This is like just 2-lane traffic, one lane going north, lane going south. That's it. There's almost no room for expansion. You obviously need sidewalks for pedestrians. What do you do? What do you do? And like, even as we zoom out, I mean, there's like nothing. I mean, you got the mountains over here. I believe this is Long Mountain, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a tough one. It's a tough one. My idea again is like, how can we mitigate against traffic and get people to do more public transportation? That's an idea. I'm sure they're thinking along those lines for sure. All right, let's keep rolling here. Maru says a train system and our ferry system is needed. Yeah, I agree. I think, there was a company in, I don't know where they're from, but they were looking to do ferries from Negril to Montego Bay and then to Kingston. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure what happened, but I think that would be phenomenal. Phenomenal. That would take so many cars off the road. And I brought this up before, like in Greece, for example, like ferries are a very, very big part of their way of life. Like driving your car, putting on a ferry, going from island to island. Like it's just a normal thing, normal way of life. I've been to Greece twice. No, I've been to Greece 3 times. And every time I've gone, I've taken multiple ferries. It's just part of the transportation system. So I think that's a huge opportunity for an entrepreneur to bring to Jamaica, and you'd be solving a huge problem, solving a very, very, very huge problem. Good point. Train system. I don't know. Could we do subways? I don't know. I mean, that's super, super, super expensive, and I don't even know what kind of engineering that you would have to do that, and also to do it on an island. I don't know how deep you'd have to go. I don't even know if that's possible. That's crazy, but even above ground train, like huge. They circles on the outside of the island or something like that. But that would be huge. Good idea, Maruz. Jason McBean says, Throp, you're correct about the Russians in Florida. They target Miami commercial real estate and entertainment industry. Yeah, I figured. Paul Williams says, good afternoon, Throp and Throppers. I'm here in California, tuning in once again for some good games. Keep up the good work. Bless up. Thank you, Paul. HB says, hey, Throp, the roads are narrow and hard for the buses to go everywhere. Agreed. Caligari says, Throp, a few months ago, the Canadian government announced a 2-year hold on foreign people / company purchasing property. Can't remember all the details. I wonder I heard about that too. I wonder what the effects have been on that. Like, has it been positive in the sense, like specifically for residents of Canada? Like, has it made home prices more affordable? Has it had a negative or adverse effect on the economy and the real estate industry. Just curious. I don't know if you have the answer to that, calligraphy. Kevin Gainier says the prohibition on the purchase of residential property by non-Canadians acting in Canada was passed on June 23rd, 2022, and the law will come into effect January 1st, 2023. I see. So it hasn't started yet. Thank you, Kevin. Man, people here are so freaking informed. Thank you for that information, Kevin, and letting us know what's happening with that. So I guess it remains to be seen in terms of the effect that will happen. Andrew Blake asks, any news on Bull Bay development? No. Actually, wait. I did speak to a realtor about that. And I wonder if we're talking about the same development, Andrew. But he told me, if we're talking about the same one, that it wasn't announced. We could be talking about two completely different developments, but there was a development by a realtor that I spoke to that he says he couldn't announce because it wasn't official yet. So I'm not sure if we're referring to the same one, but I don't have any new information on that, Andrew. Calgary says thank you to Kevin. Seema on the move says Rock House Spot is great. Yep, it's one of the ranked. Actually, it was the best spa in the Caribbean one year. I forget what it is. I think, and I also believe, like I'm going to do a video on this as soon as like I clear my plate here. But the spas in Negril are just world class, like literally world class, and I think that's a huge selling point to living here. Like if you like spas and you like, get your nails done, hair done, blah blah blah, massages, like that is a huge selling point of Negril because there are just so many of them, so many world class spas at your fingertips and most of the all inclusives allow outsiders to come in to experience their spas as well, and that's a separate revenue stream for them. And so you get access to these properties by visiting their spas. And then you have places like Rock House and Ocean Cliff, Jackie's on the Reef, these beautiful places. Skylark, has this spa as well. And then you have all the all inclusives as well. So another huge selling point, I think, for living in Negril. Chris Shaw says educating with drop maps. I'm trying, man. Calgary says, wow, that's a lot of good things happening for Negril. Yeah, I agree. It's looking great. Stanley Franklin says most of the main roads in Kingston were widened over the past 5 years. Good to know. Calligraphy says, Kevin, there's been a lot of issues with artificially inflated real estate prices. Yep. That's happening a lot of places, but got to get into that right now. CK Bond says, hey, Throp, where can you get that hat from? We're working on it. Candice is working on it. I'm not sure if she's still in the chat here, but we're working on it. We should have a few available for Throp X, but if not, we're going to start selling them online. These are only samples. These are only sample hats. I really like this one though. We're going to do some bucket hats as well. Those are coming on board. And then I also, I was explaining this to Candice, like about the design of the merch. Like, I just don't want, like, one is like, I want people when we probably won't be able to roll this out until next year, but with any merch that we do, like I always sort of, if I ever did merch in my life, I would want it to be articles of clothing that people would want to wear, even if it didn't have my logo on it. Like, and it's not just about the logo. I think it's just like, it's something that you would enjoy wearing and you look forward to wearing. And of course, representing the brand is fantastic. The other aspect of it, to me, the quality is also very, very important. I want to make sure that the quality of everything that we put out is top notch. I'm not talking about luxury, but at the same time, I don't want it to feel cheap. I want it to feel good on your body, on your head, whatever. So some of the samples that we got, like, I didn't like the quality at all. I didn't like the quality of the shirts. Some of the shirts, I didn't like the quality of the print. And then at least one of the shirts that I washed, like after I wash a shirt, the color is like completely gone. I'm like, okay, that's terrible. Like I don't want to sell any of that. So I'm very happy I did that. Some of the merch that we got as well, the logos didn't come out, crisp either. So again, I don't want to be selling that. So we're gonna do probably, like I said, we'll do for Drop X on the items that I did like. We'll have those for sale, and then we'll probably do another round of testing, and then we're gonna get into design because I'm gonna actually hire a designer to work with for merch that we're going out with. We're gonna be rolling out with. Again, this is probably first quarter 2023 that we're looking to roll this out because it's going to take a few months to develop, and the fashion, the style, everything like that for some of the items that we're thinking about making. And then of course the lead time, and who knows what's happening with this, the global logistics of everything, the lead time to actually get them out, and then also figure out distribution. I'm not trying to become like a merchandising company, but I also want to be smart and economical about it as well. So, and then again, what's very important to me as well is the quality. So a little insight into my thoughts on the merch, but long story short, don't have a lot of hats available, but we're working on it. This one I like, so this one we're probably going to do a lot of these. Maru said Subway is not good for an island. Yeah, I figured, and then flooding, hurricane, blah blah blah. Oh, that could be a disaster. T says need a good urban developer for sure. Magnetic railway above the road. Oh, above the road. Like like the monorail kind of thing in Disneyland. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Probably expensive, but I think it would be good for the environment. I think it would be good and probably easier. I mean, easy is relative, but if you could go up, you can still do things under, maybe you could follow the road system kind of thing. I don't know. I'm not an urban planner, but I think that's a good idea, T. Leighton Leon says, hey, Throp, Newburgh, New York, Poughkeepsie, New York, Fishkill, New York, Brewster, New York, and Fairfield, Connecticut are some of the area people are moving to from the Bronx. Yeah, I heard that. And these are all like very nice towns, very nice, quaint towns. And they are easily accessible by, I don't know, does the Metro North go to Connecticut? I'm not sure, but I know all these little these towns going upstate New York. You get into the city, 45 minutes, maybe over an hour, depending how far north you go, and it's a seamless, easy ride. Especially if you work in Midtown, that's a nice commute. You can do work, you can read podcasts, watch movies, whatever it is. It's comfortable. Andrew Blake says it was about the scale of Bob Marley Beach and the limited use again for locals. Sorry, I missed the context of this, Andrew. I forget what we were talking about. Marnie Daly, I love what you're doing for Jamaica. Thank you very much. Miss Cole says Fairfield, Connecticut. No way. I heard of people, my mom was telling me that people are commuting as far as Pennsylvania, like taking these buses at like 4 or 5 in the morning. And these are working class people, because it's getting so expensive. And so this is the opposite, I would say, to the people who are looking to move to Newburgh, Poughkeepsie, etc. These are a working class people who can't afford the average price for an apartment in Brooklyn. And these are people who make the city run. MTA workers, people working in fast food and restaurants, that sort of thing, who can't afford to live in city, but they are very much, I would consider them essential workers. And they're doing these like 2-3 hour commutes every day, one way. It's insane. And they're coming to work And when my mom told me that, she's like, "Yeah, it's a regular thing. They pull up to the Port Authority coming in from Pennsylvania, leave at a certain time." I'm like, "That's gonna drive you insane. That's gonna drive you insane. A 2-hour commute to work, a 2-hour commute to get home on a bus. That's Is that sustainable? I don't. It doesn't seem like it to me." Calligraphy says, "I don't have the answer to the effect on the real estate market. Got some realtors in the family, so I'll ask. Thank you for that." Joseph Buckland says, do Jamaican banks offer a buy to let for investors, mortgages aside from residential mortgages, or just a one size fits all mortgage? I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if anybody knows that buy to let. Uh, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. Sorry, Joseph. Let me take a screenshot and see if I could find that answer for you. Marie says, "I remember taking the train from Kingston to Mobay as a child. Loved it." I know a lot of people are reminiscing on the train system. That's pretty awesome. Miss Cole says, "Yes, Metro North comes to CT." Marie says, "People to do commute from PA to New York to work." That's so crazy. HB says, "I have a coworker traveling from PA to NYC." That's out of hand in my mind. Joe Buckley says, "A lot of people from Lehigh Valley area of Pennsylvania commute to New York. I had a friend who did it for years." Wow, that's so crazy. Miss Cole, "I know someone who commutes to and from Connecticut to Long Island for work in a car." Boy, that's so. And I know people like commute from like deep in Suffolk County on Long Island Railroad to the city. I get it. It's like a, relaxing ride and da 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 da. But man, I guess that's not for me. I think, to me, it's me personally, like an hour max kind of thing. I would go 90 minutes, but that's like, 3 hours of your day that you're going from one place to another. That's so much. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do, man. You got to do what you got to do. But that's a lot of time. And I hope in the day and age of podcasting and technology on our phones that people use that time to their advantage. All right, we're at hour 42. Starting to get a little hungry, but we're rolling here. Let's all right, what's this last article? I'm gonna save this one for Thursday. I got one more. Let's stick to the economy. All right, so we'll call this the last article. All right, threw that one in the comments. So this one is adding it to this article. I thought that was cool. It says Jamaican-born businesswoman donates millions to U.S. university. This is actually not the article that I wanted to. Hold on. This is the one I wanted to read. Sorry. Okay, why are they not letting me read it? Anyway, it says entrepreneur Trisha Bailey lines up 41 million US dollars in Jamaican investments. Philanthropist recalls walking miles to school in St. Elizabeth. Dr. Trisha Bailey, the Jamaican-born entrepreneur who recently made the largest cash donation in the history of the University of Connecticut, has a number of development projects underway in Jamaica valued in excess of $41 million. I don't have a Gleaner. What the heck? Hold on. Let's see if we could find this. Some other website. Nope. I'm just interested in knowing where she's investing. All right. Nope. Sorry, guys. I'm not seeing. I wanted to get more information on her investment, but it seems like I don't know if has anybody heard of her before, but seems like a great person to have on the podcast and to learn about her investments here in Jamaica and well, I'm in New York, but in Jamaica. And yeah, I was just thinking that she's probably a good person to reach out to. We'll see. But she made a big investment in to Yukon, which is awesome. That's it. Sorry, I thought we'd have an article, but we don't. We don't. We'll do some more research on Dr. Tisha Bailey. Excuse me, Tisha. I keep going, Tisha. Trisha Bailey. Dr. Trisha Bailey. Oh, you went to Yukon, Miss Cole? Cousin went to Yukon. Hope she's not sending cash to Jamaica, I guess. Who knows? We'll see. I think we're gonna start wrapping up there. Hillary says, anybody here from Toronto? Lots of people take GO trains or GO bus daily into Toronto from work. Some live 2 hours away in places like Kitchener, Cambridge, Stratford. I took the GO train in Toronto before. Went to see my dad's cousin. I forget where it was. This was like 10 years ago. That was a smooth ride. All right, I think we're going to leave it there. We are going to be back on Sunday. We're going to be back on Sunday live stream. Sorry, no beats this Sunday. Going to be here in New York, same spot. I know I said I'd have some updates on Throp X. I guess we're going to put it on the newsletter tomorrow, but more sponsors are rolling in. I don't want to name the sponsors. I guess I can name the sponsors. What's wrong with that? So we got some sponsors that we can name. So we got Remax Jamaica as confirmed. We got Scotch Boys confirmed sponsor. We got Dennis Shipping confirmed sponsor. And then we're waiting for some financial institutions as well. It's looking promising, but I can't say who it is yet until it's confirmed. But we got, a bunch of financial speakers as well, which I have announced. We got another one confirmed today. I guess we can talk about Burrito Investments. So they're going to be coming and they're going to be a presenter for Throp X, which is really exciting and happy to have them on board and to be a part of it. And, given you all more information on different opportunities, investment opportunities in Jamaica. Do we have any speaker announcements this week? I think we do. Candice knows, but I just can't think of anything off the top of my head. But we're winding down to the time. Let's just wrap up with these last comments and we will say good night. Maruz 1979 says, Throp, I think people similar to you will be the next wave of migrants to Jamaica and will cause a slight change. People who left Jamaica as young children or were born in the U.S. I think so too. It's starting to happen, and even non-Jamaicans are realizing and understanding the benefits of living in Jamaica. I think I mentioned this on the last live. There was a young couple that I met from Germany who moved here like a few weeks ago. They came to visit one time and they loved it. And they moved to Negril and I don't know how old they are, but they have a little baby girl from Germany. As far as I know, no Jamaican affiliation at all. And they were telling me that a lot of Germans want to move to Jamaica, and they have a film crew, had a film crew with them, documenting this transition that they're going through, so they could show on German national television and show that, like, hey, it's possible, they're living in Jamaica and they're doing it, sort of thing. And so that's just all. It was just like so exciting to me that this young family loved Jamaica so much, saw potential. They're doing business. They have business here as well. It's not like they're coming and just living here and retiring here. They're young people, and they're doing their business in Jamaica as well. So that's happening. And like you said, Maruz, that a lot of people of Jamaican descent, first generation American, first generation Canadian, whatever have you, are opening their eyes to the possibility of investing in their bloodline country and seeing the opportunities in doing so, not only for financial opportunities, but also lifestyle opportunities as well. And that's exciting. That's really exciting. And there's been a few, I don't know why, but quite a few people in the last week. And when I say why, I mean this uptick that I'm about to mention, but quite a number of people, like 3 or 4 people, have reached out to me, just found the channel recently. And and this happens like sporadically anyway, but this was just like in like such a short succession of people asking me information directly about moving here and living here. And it's mostly young people who were like reaching out about investing in Jamaica and living in Jamaica. And I was like, this is so awesome, that more and more young people. Obviously, we want people who are in the mature stages of their career and looking to retire. Like, we need that as well, and we need that to help build Jamaica and the ideas and experience of those people. But also, as Maruz, as you mentioned, it's like also getting young people to start the process early, and by process, I mean the process of helping create the vision of Jamaica and the development of Jamaica. And I think young people, and anybody who's coming from abroad, but most certainly young people, young families, really help set the stage for the future 10, 20 years down the road, because I feel like they're going to make long-term decisions, because this is their community, this is where they will be living, and they're thinking about, like, for example, the German couple, their little girl, of her going to school here and her community and her town, and they are going to want to help build it up, not just for the next year or the next election or anything like that. They want to build it for 20 years, 30 years down the road, because like that's how I'm thinking. That's how I'm thinking of investing and thinking about the future. So yes, good thing. Good point, Maruz. Good point, Maruz. Sonny Franklin says, good night, Throp and Throppers. See you Sunday. Calligraphy says, wow, have you heard of the Pencil for Kids, guys? Nope. I will have to look that up. Pencil for Kids. I will look that up, Calligraphy. But I think we're going to call it there. Thank you all for chiming in on the normal weekday live stream. We will be back here Sunday at 12 o'clock New York time. Last comment. Andrew Blake says people should wake up to what the German couple are doing throughout, create less obstacles, and be on this beautiful island. I agree. It's happening, and I'm so happy that they're taking the extra step to document their journey and also share it with their German community, right? I think that's so awesome, and it makes me so proud. I'm like, man, that's so awesome that people from Germany, this young couple from Germany, wants to move to Jamaica, and not only that, they want to help other people do it as well. And the husband even said, like, hey, I should come on your show. Like, he came and checked out the studio and everything like that. So we're going to hopefully do something in the near future and get an understanding of their whole process and what made them decide to move to Jamaica as opposed to anywhere else in the world, right? Or why they didn't stay in Germany. Awesome. All right. Thank you again, everyone. I will see you on Sunday, 12 o'clock Eastern time. Have a good night and a good weekend. Bye.